Hey guys, welcome back to FurnaceClans. Uh, Not much has happened since last episode. Just want to show you a couple of things. One of which was somebody had mentioned in the comments on one of the previous videos, what happens if you hang ice off a bridge? Now, I had built this bridge, and I had hung a pit pond right off the edge there, and one level down I created a floor and an ice wall and hooked it right off the bridge. No problem. It hung there for about 3 months. Now, what happens is as soon as I come into the game, after a save and a reload, it drops. So there appears to be a bit buggy, and it only recalculates on a game reload. As soon as you unpause, it'll collapse off the edge of a bridge. I'm not sure how to use that yet, but that could probably be handy somewhere. In other news, we have begun flooding the tree farm. We finally cleared it out of all the rock. We've locked up the door that comes from the stairway. Up here at the OMG, we've got one guy left over from a siege. Because of him, though, he just keeps pushing up on this pressure plate and keeping the hatch open, because I never hooked this pressure plate up to this door to get him to go and reverse, because it kind of got into a pointless state at that point. What I'm thinking about doing is dropping the cave-in on his head, actually, to remove him, because he's been there for a good 5 or 6 months. I've sealed up all the doors here. There's no passage into the fort anymore at all. He should be leaving. Every other piece of his siege has departed. He's just not leaving. Not sure why. I just keep hoping he's going to path out. I really don't want to have to reset the system for a simple horse and spearman, but I may be stuck having to do that because I'm not getting merchants or anything like that in. Not that I really need the merchants. Really all I buy off them is a couple of logs and thread and whatever steel instruments they bring along, but it's nice to actually have them visit. Other than that, not a heck of a lot else is going on. I'm going to cut down some trees while I'm sitting here talking with you. I know it's episode 25, and I was thinking about doing a State of the Fortress kind of thing, but there's not a lot to talk about, but I'll go over the highlights with you. For stocks, we're looking at 3.5k in prepared meals, a little over $4,000 in drinks. Not a big deal. We could mass produce drinks if we need them. Armor is a little light. You have to remember that I'm arming and armoring my entire citizenry. And we are up to 62 citizens with approximately, I'll say about 22 of them are children right now, rough. So about 40 adult population. Considering the miners and the lumberjacks can't be armored up, knock out 9 or 10, and I'm right about at limit. I need more steel goods to be able to really get my military going. So we're working on that. One of the big things that are stopping us from doing that is a large quantity of lumber for charcoal, as you could guess. So we're working on that. If I could find a seam of coal or something like that, that'd just be awesome. But unfortunately, I haven't located any, and I'm not using any of the cheats to go locate it. I'm trying to avoid that. Let's see, in other news, not a heck of a lot of other news going on. Our nobles are relatively happy. I need to improve the Duchess's rooms. These are her rooms here. We've started doing encrusting of things like totems and stuff like that. I got 2 guys who do encrusting to try and get them better at it. So what I'm hoping to do eventually is I'll create a little furniture alcove. I'll link that and the cut gem stockpile to the gemmery, and I'll get a couple of masterwork with encrusted items to stick in her room, and hopefully that'll be able to push it up and over enough. Because I have mass engravers, I don't have 1 or 2 guys doing it, but when I do an engraving, I have a swarm of them, like 10 to 15, and this is something that's been a habit since I've been having to mass produce slabs every time a migrant wave comes in or something like that. Most of my engravers are mediocre to I think I've got 1 master engraver. Let's check. Yeah, the best engraver I've got is an 8. And then behind him is a 7. Excuse me, I have Ilral, who is a legendary engraver as well. He's currently off-duty military. He's one of the Iron Arrows. But yeah, I could probably turn them off and ask them to go do some more engravings. And actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about that, let me turn off everybody else. And let's give her some engravings. Get some engravings there. I don't think there's any room to engrave her dining room anymore. What we'll do is can't smooth the stone? I thought smoothing the stone would engrave it. Okay, sorry about that. Quick wiki visit. So apparently I should be able to carve tracks across engravings and remove them. There we go. And hopefully we can get some higher value items in there. Let's just make sure none of these were masterwork, because otherwise I get cranky people. Nope, okay, we're good. Yep, they're all crappy ones. So we'll have them come in, carve that track up, and that should help improve that. And over here is her tomb. I had to expand our living area a bit. You'll notice I have some up here. And if I come up a level, or actually this is the floor level, mid-level and upper level of a housing area that I've been building out. These are for the two mayors who seem to swap back and forth. I've got a guy I prefer as mayor. The other guy gets the other rooms for when I'm not paying attention because he's more popular. You'll notice I have Moral. His job is make me a mayor so I can find him easily. He's got the same basic request. He loves bolts as much as ITG does. So generally they just swap back and forth mandating bolts. And since I need to make them anyway, it's just a good reminder for me to go do that. So that's pretty much where we're at. We've got plenty of room. I've got a failed kindergarten downstairs I need to go clean out. That's just a problem. I need to get the clean that out, maybe rebuild it, expand it, do something with it. I'm not sure. But I was trying to assign the kids down there, which I've just given up on at this point. So I will bring you back when something interesting happens. We're still just flooding out up here. I've got the beginnings of a couple of trees already starting. That's nice. This will take a while to flood, though. Down here, over in the bottom left corner, is my drain. Leads downstairs one into a fortification, so we'll be able to drain this out in case I don't pay enough attention. But this will just take a bit. So bear with me a second here, guys. I'm going to zoom this all the way out so I can show you something. I just decided to double check. I'm running into a problem with keeping my bolts, keeping enough bolts. So I went over here, and I remembered I ran into a couple of copper veins. And copper bolts would do just fine for my purposes under most circumstances. And I'm not sure if you're familiar, but in DF Hack, if you hit Control-Shift-V, while you're staring at a vein, it'll basically do a follow vein with the dig. But you want to be careful when you use this, and let me illustrate why. So up here, I figured, okay, so I'll get a little vein going. I'll probably get, 80 or 90 bits of it. But to my surprise, I'm getting stuff in the bottom right, and so I decided to go look through the levels. So, if I go down here all the way to the basement, to the bottom layer of, well, close to the bottom of the magma sea. So right now I'm at about -2. You can see the end of this vein just down here. But if I start going up, you'll see it's everywhere. It actually looks kind of pretty. I could almost use it for a screensaver somewhere. So, it traced this vein for 55 Z levels. That seems a bit overkill to me. Now, I could just mass deselect this, but what I think I'm going to do is go through and undesignate anywhere where it'll break things I've got built or insecure. Things like Cavern 3, where it ran up to the walls in Cavern 3. Any place it would tap into the magma sea. Things of that nature. And I think I'm just going to let them try. That's a lot of metal. I wouldn't mind having a whole lot of backup metal to supplement my iron for my steel industry. And I've got a lot of idlers right now. So setting up a couple of copper pickups, say 3 or 4 square stockpiles, each one with 3 wheelbarrows apiece, all feeding into a minecart for quantum storage. That'll keep 12 of my guys busy for a long time, especially if my miners go nuts. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this very, very carefully for a little while and undesignate any place like here where I'd break open the walls to the magma lift on the impulse elevator. Or get back down to Cavern 3. Like here on Cavern 3, it wants to open up the walls here on Cavern 3, which would allow flyers in. And there was even some at the ground level here, which would be very dangerous to open up. Also some flooding possibilities if I let them pop into there. So I'm going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb, inch by inch, level by level, and double check everywhere it thinks it wants to dig. And I'm going to undesignate anywhere where I think it's dangerous. And then I'm going to let my miners go nuts. So I just figured I'd share that with you that, well, why not? Bring it back in a bit. For those curious, we're still flooding our tree farm here. You'll notice, I guess it's about a third filled at this point. We're basically trying to fight evaporation while it spreads out, because that's a lot of spread way out there. It's almost a coastline. So it's just going to take it a while, especially since I've only got 2 points of access from the cavern lake up above me up here. So anyway, bring it back when I get something else interesting going on. Hey guys, as an addendum to the concept of drilling out all this copper, on my first pass I realized this is going to be really tough to make sure I don't make any mistakes on. So I'm not just going to bulk include entire regions into the burrow, because in case you were unaware, you can set your burrow to places you haven't dug yet so that you don't have to keep just tracing the walls as you build it out. So in theory I could have just, grabbed entire layers and stuck it in the burrow, but I don't want to do that because I want to be able to trace each area in particular and just double check all the places where there were down stairways going that possibly could open up an area into a cavern, or an up stairway that was looking at digging into a water area. I want to make sure that it didn't put a downstair there that I may have missed, or something of that nature. So due to that, I'm going to make sure that I do each area slowly and include it basically gently. Probably going to start down here near the bottom, just because it's very intrusive in certain areas, and I want to make sure that I get that cleaned up. But I figure I'll start here, which is where I started this entire mess in the first place. So I just wanted to let you guys know how I was planning on approaching this and what was going on. And I shall bring you back in a bit. Hey guys, sound the alarms. Found out something that's, these ice walls used to be cool. Alright, I've got some, hopefully somebody's trying to pull that lever. Somebody's pulling the lever. Give me 1 second, I'll show you. Center. Okay, he's on his way. Alright, we had a Plains Titan come in. And if we check his status out, he's flyer, but he breathes fire. So that wouldn't be so bad, except for the fact that he's trying to kill off a horse corpse that's right next to my ice tower. Now, the fire is not acting well with my ice tower. You'll notice I have ice wall, muddy ice. So fire critter, by accident, I know we don't have wall breakers and stuff like that put into the game yet, but just by sheer combat locality, he's blown a hole in the ice tower. We're currently doing an emergency seal up on our door here, which will hopefully save our lives. Where's my guy pulling the lever? Come on, run. As long as he stays engaged with the horse. Now what's interesting is I don't have a report for this combat. He's just breathing fire all over the place. Okay, and that's, yep, alright, that's got us sealed in. So we're safe from the hole in the wall, literally, that this critter just created. He just took down another chunk of it. He's actually up here in the air somewhere. He's 4 up, there we go. He's got no wounds. we come down here. This horse corpse is pretty seriously on fire here. So I just wanted to share with you that while the ice tower was really cool, it's not as good as I'd hoped. But that's okay. It's still cool. So on one final note, before I leave you with this episode of FurnaceClans, that Plains Titan that came in, breathing fire all over the place and everything like that, decided to come in to the OMG, even though there's no pathing. I guess he was chasing down either the hatchway or he was looking for renal here. But the minecart came by, and I guess he dodged, because I saw him over the magma here, and now he's down here drowning in fire. In magma. What a beautiful place. So once he gets himself cacked off, he should just light himself on fire. He's winded. He's pretty beat up by the magma. Let's see, where is he? Oh, there he is. He's making a run for it, I think. Yeah, he's hurting pretty bad. He's about to get tapped by the minecart. Let me see, just ripped off a finger, and he jumped away. See if he jumps back into the magma. Ah, he had dodged out over the magma again. Let's see. Beat up his wing a bit. I could go try and fire up the magma system, but I actually almost want him to get to that human to kill it. Really wish that human would go away. Let's see what happened there. Yeah, the minecart's just beating the crap out of him. I keep hoping he dodges back into the magma. That would have been funny. Oh, this isn't as interesting as I thought it was going to be. Let's see what happens when he gets to the human. There we go. Get rid of that guy. They're making a break for it. You're not getting far. Can't see anything through the smoke. Oh, looks like he's on fire. So's the horse. He's just hurling fire down on him. That's a lot of smoke. What fun is a battle you can't see? Looks like the horse is the only one left. Yep. Oh, that's the Plains Titan. Let's see, is there corpses in there? The horse corpse is on fire. Looks like I won't have to worry about cleaning out the undead. Okay. So, he's going to try and make a run back out, I think. There he is. I'm not sure where he's going to go. I'm surprised he didn't go after the hatch. That's kind of a surprise. I'm not sure where he thinks he's going. Looks like he's just going to flutter around over the magma for a while. Oh, that's bad. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, I'm not sure if not everybody's seen the original design for the OMG, but this area here in the two back corners do not have boosters for the minecart. We're going to have to reset the OMG, because that minecart's now stuck permanently. That's never going to move again. Oh. Where are you going? I don't care about your mysterious construction. Shut up. Okay. It's not like he tried to get into... Well, that's kind of a problem. He could get into the fort if he goes all the way down, climbs in through the system for our rollers. Because I opened that up to get power out, and I've never had anything actually try and survive going through here. But it looks like he skipped that choice. He just took quickest pathing to get out of here. I guess he's trying to go kill something. Now, one of my problems is I've got critters on this side of the OMG. But he may kill off these undead as they try and stand up, and because he lights them on fire, he may clean off the left side for me so I can reset it. I have more torpedoes I could drop into the system, but those torpedoes were meant for a bug, where you can lose minecarts in magma on rollers, which I explained along the way to somebody. Or at some point, excuse me. So I can't just drop another... What the heck's going on now? God, a cursed dust. I can't just drop another minecart into the system, because what happens is the minecarts end up jammed in the corners. And I'd have to actually drain out the entire system to be able to reset that. Okay, so up here, I've got a Cyclops that will probably end up in a war. Okay, we're sealed up, right? Yeah, okay. As long as he doesn't try to get in by swimming, we're okay. Flames don't kill the undead, so unless he goes up and actually physically engages him, this war is just going to keep happening. He's just going to keep hurling fireballs. Yay, you've made a bone buckler, stupid child. Well, it looks like this is going to be a battle for the ages. We've got the irresistible fireball trying to burn down the inflammable target. So, well, guys, I'm going to have to leave you on this note, and I will let you know what happens in this epic little brawl on the next episode of FurnaceClans. But right now, it looks like the OMG is down till further notice. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.